Straight up now, tell me, do you really wanna love me forever? Or is it just a hit and run? Hey, we got a good thing. Don't know if I'ma see you.
YouTube. Tuesday. I'm really like squatting because I would be way out of the shot if I stood up. So, bring it on down. Tuesday, week 9, 10, I don't know. We are talking about Priiide. So, this is funny because when we picked the topic, I was like, oh, I've never been to Priiide. What am I going to talk about? And then a friend came in town on Saturday. So we were like, oh, let's go hang out downtown. I'm driving. I noticed one of our buildings is lit up in like rainbow colors. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I'm still driving, and one of the main streets downtown is like blocked off. So I'm like, okay. So I go park, and we're walking around downtown, and we kind of like accidentally walk dead smack in the middle of Priiide. Not literally in the middle because it was actually closing. Like all the little tents and little things. So I kind of almost went to Priiide. Almost. If I would have been like an hour earlier, I would have went to Priiide. But Priiide is not something I partake in. I guess this was my first summer, my first Priiide season, identifying as trans, so that was new. So yeah, back when I identified as female and I was gay, I never really wanted to go to Priiide, honestly. And I think this stems from a larger issue, a larger reason. When I was perceived as a lesbian and I identified as gay, I was not one to really closely associate with lesbians or closely associate with LGBTQ or the community or anything like that. I was always just kind of, this is my label because I feel like I have to have one, and I hang out with straight people for the most part. Never really had like 8 lesbian friends or a bunch of queer friends. I just wasn't really in the community like that. For me, it was more like on a greater scale, I'm associated with this collective group of people, but I don't go out of my way to surround myself with the queer community, I guess. So, with that reasoning behind it, I guess that's why I never went to Priiide, because I was never really like, yay, let's all hang out together. Yeah, it's just never been a thing for me. I don't know why. I know when I started high school, of course, there's a fair amount of gay individuals, lesbians, gay men, in between, a mix of both. And I would remember trying to associate with more lesbians, and for some reason, which I guess I now understand, I never really felt connected with them. I always felt like it wasn't really the right fit for me as far as like being in that group of people, and it was never like a superiority thing, like, oh, I'm better than them. It just felt like I was out of place. I don't know if any of them ever picked up on it, but yeah, I just felt out of place. So that's probably why it kind of evolved into me just avoiding them in particular. But I guess now it's the fact that I am not a woman who is attracted to women, which is probably where that gap of where I felt like I wasn't really fitting in with them, or not even fitting in. I didn't have much in common with them other than the fact that I dated women. So yeah, that's a whole lot. Never went to Priiide. Almost kind of went to Priiide 3 days ago, and I've just never been one to be really close knit with the queer people around me. For the future, I don't know if I'll go to Priiide because it seems like, from what I've heard, um, Priiide is really focused around gay and lesbian individuals, and the trans community, the bi community, all the other communities that exist that aren't strictly gay and lesbian kind of get omitted in a way. I don't know. It seems like we kind of fall through the cracks. So I don't know. I never really felt the urge to go. I do plan on being supportive of the trans community. Um, I got to find my spot where and how I'm going to do that, other than simply being kind of an ambassador, being out, being an open resource, I guess, basically, for those who don't have experience with trans people. I kind of have no issue being that. I feel like I'm getting lower and lower. You should see the split I'm doing right now. Ah, okay. I plan on being out as trans for the sole purpose of being that experience for cis people who might not have that exposure. So that's how I plan on kind of supporting the trans community. Um, I feel like with Priiide, it's just not, I don't know, it's just not something that I'm getting an urge to do or to go to. So maybe I don't have Priiide. I don't have LGBTQ Priiide because we kind of get left out of that whole group. But that's a whole other topic. I have trans Priiide. I would go to a trans Priiide most likely, just because I know that there will be things for us. So yeah, trans Priiide all the way. LGBTQ Priiide. I'll leave that to some of the other guys. So that's that. And peace.